And opening prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We pray. Lord Jesus, as we prepare to celebrate your birth at Christmas, we are reminded that though you are the King of Kings, you are willing to be born into this world that you might serve all people. Having been served by you, grant that each of us would be moved to serve you and perform the duties of our office for the good of our fellow citizens. Grant that in all deliberations, we would be instruments of the peace that has been given to us by you, the Prince of Peace. Amen. Roll call, we have that? Yep. All right. I would need a motion to approve the agenda. Motion by Supervisor Swaggle. Second by Supervisor Haskey. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify. You may register your vote. We're moving. We got to get you to Christmas dinner here tonight. Langto and Romden.
Double tab, Tom.
Down to one. Is the yes button is covered on yours? That one belongs to Supervisor Swaggle. I believe that must have gotten the tablets. That's why you can't vote yes. It's Christmas. Supervisor Romden? Oh, we got the chief over there. The IT expert can't get it. I don't know. Well, look at that. After all that, okay.
You want a yes? Oh.
Is that okay? I've got 18. Oh, it's a switch now. He changed. Okay, so I have 19 yes, none opposed, motion carries. Let's hope the rest of them go a little smoother than that. Motion to, otherwise you'll be eating dinner at 9 o'clock. Motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting. I have a motion by Supervisor Kroll, second by Supervisor Augustine. Is there any discussion of those minutes? Any correction to those minutes? Then you may register your vote. Oh, come on. There we go. You didn't vote. Neither of you voted. Do you wish? Is that incorrect? Is your
Yes.
vote your vote is incorrect, Supervisor Gillett? Yeah, okay. All right, very well then. It's 19 yes, none opposed. Well, this is coming after all the jokes that I've made about the one tablet having the yes button disabled. It's coming back to haunt me here tonight. All right, appointments. We will move on if you're prepared. Oh, citizens input, sorry. Do we have citizens input? Do we have anyone who wishes to speak to the board this evening? Is anyone who wishes to speak to the board? Anyone who wishes to speak to the board? Seeing none, we'll move on to appointments now. Appointments?
You want to take them together?
We'll take them together, yes.
EMS Council, Deb Prebeck, entire EMS Council, and the LEPC.
Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Supervisor Patricia, second by Supervisor Augustine. Is there any discussion of that motion? Seeing none, you may register your vote. Supervisor Lukes. Supervisor Lukes. You want to register your vote, please? Thank you.
You want.
Supervisors Gillett and Supervisors Romden, is this an error again? So you are both yes votes? No, the IT, resident IT expert here giving, guidance. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Annual reports, or other reports, Administrator, Mr. Dorner.
Good evening, everyone. On your desk, I did put a copy of my monthly personnel report that I gave to executive. I just wanted to go through that briefly, kind of keep you up to date where we are with things. I would go down to the bold area that says resignation. You'll see a program assistant there and a payroll technician. The program assistant is in the public health department, and then the payroll technician is in the finance agency. So under retirement, we did, since this was printed, receive another notice of retirement from one of the law enforcement officers. So that will take effect on January 3rd. Under recruitment, county administrator, we say we're reviewing the job description. We are actually advertising. So that'll be advertised through January 8th of this year. I know in your packet you have the big long handout that comes from the public administration folks who are handling it for us, and so those things are detailed in that schedule that's there. Emergency management assistant, that position has actually been filled. It was filled through an internal transfer. Highway commissioner, we did conduct interviews several weeks past. And at the end of the interviews, we decided to re-advertise for that position. So the highway commissioner position is being re-advertised and will run through January 8th. So hopefully we will see some activity there and take another look. We did hire a person down at the highway shop and will begin on January 2nd. The judicial administrative assistant, that position, it says advertising interviewing, that has been completed and also has been filled, and that was filled with an internal transfer. So another vacancy was created here in our system. Payroll technician, advertising, that has actually been through the interview process and is now filled. As of yesterday, the individual did agreed to take the position. That one's been open since September 29th, so it's been quite a while. Program assistant public health, that one is now filled, and the person there took over on December 4th. We continue with the radio op jailers, Winter Park assistants, advertising and interviewing to fill out those needs there. Vacancies, so I told you there were internal transfers. One came from the Register of Deeds office. The Deputy Register of Deeds is moving to the judicial assistant position. And then the other position that's open is the economic support specialist. We actually have 2 vacancies in the economic support specialist. If you go back to the top of the report, the second line under hire where it says economic support specialist. So we just hired a person there. This is a 3-member agency. That person is the most senior person in that agency at this point, hired November 27th. So we've lost basically the entire staff there. So we'll be moving to fill those vacancies as they exist. That's kind of the rundown on where we are with employment things going on. Any questions from anyone? Okay, very quickly, the administrator's position search continues. Again, I said that it would be going on until January 8th. The one thing I wanted to point out to the board tonight, and ask you to check your calendars and mark it in that on January 25th, beginning at 5 p.m. through 6:30, there will be what they call a meet and greet of the finalists that are being chosen for interview. And that meet and greet is with this board and department heads. So that'll be held in this room. So we would like you to pencil that in your calendars. We will get you a formal invitation for that. But January 25th, that'll be the start of a 1.5-day process of the interview. The candidates that have been chosen for final interview will arrive in the afternoon. They would get a tour of county facilities, and there would be some other activities conducted. But then at 5 o'clock in the evening, 5 to 6:30, there would be an opportunity for the board to sit down and meet each of those final candidates. So kind of keep that in mind. I did check yesterday with the company, and we don't have a mountain of applicants at this point. So we're hoping that things pick up maybe after the holiday season. One of the other things that's going on is Oconto County is also in search of a administrator. So regionally, it may have people tearing either way. For those that haven't done so, if you want to look through the material in the packet, it breaks down how those surveys that we asked you to complete, how those outcomes were, and some of that information then flowed into the advertisement packet that was put together by the PAA people. So if you have an interest in seeing how your answers to that survey were compiled and ultimately led into the advertisement documents, you can take a look online and in that packet of materials that's out there. And finally, I just want to touch base with you about Wisconsin Act 41. Most of you probably will know it as the legislation that went into the American Family Field renovation project down in Milwaukee. As a part of that bill, however, there was a piece added that the fee that the state collects when they collect our sales tax is and has been 1.75%. In this bill, it changed from 1.75 to 0.75, which will allow us to keep between $15,000 and $17,000 a year extra on sales tax. So it wasn't something that was anticipated. Counties Association did follow this closely and were in line with us in terms of trying to influence our legislators. Ultimately, it did carry through. So in this next round, as they start their collections, the state will only be keeping the 0.75. And like I said, for us, that means we'd have another between $15,000 and $17,000 of sales tax. Our current sales tax collections are on a par to, probably be above what we've been in the past, depending on what the December collections would be. But this little $15,000, $17,000 lift is something that wasn't anticipated there. That's all I have. Any questions on anything we've covered or anything else that you'd like to bring up?
All right. Thank you, Ed.
You
Moving on to committee reports. Any questions on any of the various committee reports? All right. Go ahead.
I was just curious if where it stands on the jail committee.
You have the minutes, the most current. We met on Friday and are waiting for a response from the architect and contractor that we had talked to in Iowa to determine if they are willing to accept the terms that basically our outside counsel has requested. Anything else?
We are working with the Wisconsin, well, I shouldn't say Wisconsin County, we're working with an attorney that used to.
Did you hear me or not? Okay. Thank you. I forgot to turn it on. So we are working also with an attorney that used to be with the Wisconsin County Association. He is now currently on his own to review the contracts.
And with, as far as venture goes, what is the harm in talking to them about seeing what we're able to do as far as scaling the project down and working with them, since we've already have a contract, we're already working with them?
Committee has talked about this at length. And the harm is that, you know, as we've been told, that project can't be scaled down. You'd be looking at a different project. Yeah, that's what Samuel's told us, Samuel's group, is that that project is bare, that's what it is. That project will only go up in cost. Obviously, the board couldn't get support for $33 million. Having it go higher is hardly going to gain any additional support.
Most definitely. That being said, my understanding is that Venture is willing to meet with us to scale the project down
I don't
and
know
meet with
where
us
you-
at,
I
and
don't-
meet with us at,
I
to
don't
be
know
able
where
to-
did you hear that from?
from Venture. That Venture is
Okay.
willing to,
When did you speak to them? Who did you speak to?
I spoke to somebody there at Venture, and they are willing to meet with us they're willing to meet with us and scale the project down to find, if we're able to do it at a lower cost. And
Well, that's interesting because Supervisor Augustine, Supervisor Poppy, the committee, I mean, we talked about this very point and we were told when we had that final meeting that project that could not be scaled down. The project was the project.
well, with those drawings, for sure.
So
but-
you're not talking about scaled down. What you're talking about is a new project. So we would be working with them towards a new project.
It would be, yes, with scaling it down, working with them.
Okay, so it would be all of the same cost. We
No.
would recur.
It would not be recurred. It'd be, when I was given, it's not a hard number, but that it'd be less
Well,
than
my
6 figures.
recommendation would be that you bring this information if you are saying that you have information that certainly hasn't been presented to the committee, that you bring it to the committee at their next meeting. So that we can actually, you know, look into that and discuss it further, because that's different than the discussions we've had.
All right, well, I'd just like to, I mean, I think it's worth the committee looking into going ahead and opening lines of communication with them if they're willing to meet with us to bring the scale and the cost of the project down.
Well, again, the project is, we've been told that that project can't be scaled down any further. That we were told multiple times that project is bare bones. So we would be, that's the information we had. You have anything to add to that, Supervisor Augustine? Is that?
I would agree with you there, Chairman, that project was, we were told by Venture, scaled down as far as it goes. So my understanding is we would be creating a new project moving forward with Venture.
And my position would be, and that was the way the committee decided, with the outcome of the previous project, I don't know why we would want to pursue further work with them.
What would the harm in be to speaking with them at no cost to see what we're able to do?
We spoke with them many times during the previous project, and they told us that was as far as it could be, that was bare bones.
Well, I spoke with them today and
Well,
was told that they're willing to speak with us as far as scaling it down. And
Well,
if it's with, I mean, if we can do it at no cost.
Well, I find that interesting because that's certainly different than what we've been told previously. The committee just met Friday. So if you have information and you have somebody that's saying that, I would suggest you forward that to the committee and the committee can discuss it further. Any other questions?
Chairman,
Yes.
just hearing this information, I mean, is the committee willing to have a conversation with them? I asked this question when this all came up. I asked Paul, I said, how much money have we invested already in this project? And
1.2
he,
million.
yeah, quite a bit. And I said, is there no way to salvage them as a company instead of starting over? And I think the answer was no at that point. But if there is a chance of working with them again, maybe I would hope the committee would be willing to at least entertain that option.
I'll certainly bring it before the committee, as I did this past Friday. But we were told multiple times this project is bare bones. That was the term we heard again and again. We talked to Samuel's group. We were told over and over. We tried that before we came to that vote of $33 million because we knew that 33 million had very little chance of success. So multiple attempts were made. Now, at this point, after what we've been through, I'll certainly bring it before the committee, but I will be very clear in my position. I just don't understand why, with the record we have here with that company, we would want to invest further money. We would be spending new money how would there be a different result? They had multiple opportunities to lower that cost. I had no desire to come here with a vote on $33 million. So they had multiple opportunities. We told them prior to that vote, this was not likely to pass. So the time for that, if they're able to do that, I guess I don't understand. The time for that would have been prior to that vote for 33 million. It would have certainly been a good time for them to speak up. Yes.
That being said, that if the estimated cost for proceeding with Iowa is 1.5 million, 1 million?
Was it 1.5? No, it was lower. Their costs would be lower than what the previous were.
Well, it would be more than 100,000. And my only point is that Venture today said that they're willing to speak with us, trying to scale this down. And that if there were new plans, that it would most likely, I don't want to put words in their mouth, most likely less than 100,000. So whether we go with them or not, I think it's worth looking into to try to save money and time from starting over, to at least invite them and talk to them at no cost to see what we can do. And if we decide, we don't want to do it, let's Mr. Chairman, give me 1 second, please. I was not finished. That it does not hurt to ask them at no cost to come and speak with us with all the interested parties to see what they can do for us. And if we decide not to go with them, then at least we know that, we're not leaving a good option on the table.
It's not a good option. I mean, we talked to them multiple times before the vote for 33 million. I also sat in on numerous meetings. Supervisor Baker was on here at the time, and Supervisor, he's not here now, but former Supervisor Baker, Supervisor Poppy sat in on those meetings. We had the vote on dramatically lowering the bed count with Venture, removing the, and changing the size of the cell block, basically. That would have cut $1 million off. So I've sat in numerous meetings with Venture and Samuel's group in efforts to get the cost down prior to coming here with a $33 million vote. So I find that extraordinary that somebody from there is now saying, oh no, what we put you through, we could do that differently now. That's a remarkable thing. Certainly if the jail study committee has a desire to take that up, I'd be happy to discuss it. Supervisor Poppy, you haven't, nothing.
No. My only point is that a meeting at no cost is worth it to explore all the options.
Any other questions? Oh, sorry, Supervisor Lazansky.
So this is my take on this. So I know we've been back and forth for years and years, even before I was here, and there's been a lot of meetings. But just for the fact that if they're willing to, so I would think if someone was speaking with Venture would be like, no, I'm not going to have a meeting with you. But if Venture is saying, I'm willing to meet with you, since we've had such a multitude of meetings already, what does it hurt to have one more? So I am for pursuing that, possibility.
Any others discussion? Any other questions on minutes? Very well. We'll move on. First reading of ordinance. There are none. Consideration of resolutions. If you are prepared.
A resolution granting the petition for Bridge Aid, Town of Anape, fiscal impact $86,287 from County Aid Bridge Fund.
Motion by Supervisor Romden, second by Supervisor Patricia. Discussion on that motion. All right, you may register your vote. Supervisor Poppy, abstain. We have 18 yes, 1 abstain. Motion carries. Next resolution.
Salary Schedule 1, a resolution establishing total annual compensation for county elected officials. Fiscal impact, $42,004 increase in salary and benefits over 4 years.
There a motion? Supervisor Romden, second by Supervisor Lazansky. Is there discussion of that motion? You may register your vote. $18 yes, 1 opposed. Motion carries. Next resolution.
A resolution approving budget adjustment, Sheriff's Department, Land Information Office, and Public Health Department for 2023. Fiscal impact, increase in expenditures, $192,928. Decrease in expenditures, $159,132. Increase in grant revenue, $16,630. Increase in other revenue, $6,700. Fund balance used, $10,466.
Is there a motion? Supervisor Poppy, second by Supervisor Haskey. Is there discussion? Supervisor Swaggle.
Are these things that changed since we passed the budget unexpectedly, or? That would fit in, sir?
Who wishes to speak to that?
Short answer, yes. Just
Thank
real.
you.
Yeah, when we do the budget process in October, November, for the following year, yes, things change, especially the department, the size of the sheriff and the health department. Health department, their grants change sometimes 2 and 3 times a year. They don't always know it until later in the year. And land information, there was a higher than anticipated expense.
Thank you, sir.
All right, any other discussion, any other questions? You may register your vote. $19 yes, none opposed. Motion carries. Next resolution.
A resolution approving the taking of tax deeds, 2019 real estate taxes. Fiscal impact, total due $1,328.51.
Is there a motion? Motion by Supervisor Romden, seconded by Supervisor Mastelier. Is there discussion? You may register your vote. $19 yes, none opposed. Motion carries. Next resolution.
A resolution approving the sale of tax deed to former owner.
Is there a motion? Motion by Supervisor Vollenweider, second by Supervisor Mastelier. Are there questions? Supervisor Swaggle.
I would, not really a question, but if the owners are buying this back, that we were trying to have them settle their taxes and charging them rent, I think it sounds like a win.
Well, it's kind of a win-win-win. I don't think we could have, Mr. Depot had been working on that and Paul for quite some time, and I don't know if Ed got involved in that at all, but I know that those two certainly spent a considerable amount of time, and it's you know, very desirable outcome in my opinion. Other questions? All right, you may register your vote. 19 yes, none opposed. Motion carries. Consideration of ordinance read at previous county board meeting, we have none. Communications from other counties, we have some.
From Sawyer County and Green Lake County, resolution in opposition to Wisconsin Legislative Reference Bureau 2023 bill proposal LRB 3518-1. It's regulating wake surfing and wakeboarding. And from Kenosha County, a resolution on the individual health decisions pertaining to COVID-19, government lockdowns, vaccine, and mask mandates.
All right. Kewaunee County events. We have any? Christmas on the 25th. I hear there's people celebrating that. Thank you, Supervisor Vollenweider. Yeah. All right, seeing none others. No comments from the chair other than that I wish you a very blessed Christmas, each of you. Meeting dates. We already have previously scheduled January 16 and February 6. March 19 at 6 p.m. is proposed. Is there a motion? Do we need to take that on here, or did you just show hands is good? Is there a motion for that? Supervisor Patricia, second by Supervisor Kinnard. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Supervisor Vollenweider, second by Supervisor Patricia. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.